Hey, what's up guys? Hardleg Joe here with the profile for my Evil Heroes Unchained deck, a literally fiendish go second deck designed to tear apart boards using a wide variety of monster removal, usually ending on a combination of Malicious Bane and Links Unchained. Now, if you want to see this thing in action, you can check out the main What a Deck video, link down in the description. There, I'll be playing 10 duels against random opponents and showing off how this works. Otherwise, here, I'm just going to be going card by card, explaining what everything does and why we play it. Starting off with our monster lineup, we have 3 of the big-ass rock, 3 abominable soul man, 2 ninja turtles, 2 very good puppers, 2 fiendish kaijus, 3 literal bars of gold, 3 Pokemon Red, and 3 Pokemon Blue. For spells, we're playing 2 Galaxy Cyclops, and 2 of Dark Calling, 3 Upstart Goblin, but for fiends, 3 of the Unchained Searcher, and 3 of Impeded Kaiju Nappy Time. Our only traps are 3 copies of Unchained Icarus Attack, and 3 Unchained Return to the Front. Our extra deck consists of 2 Unchained Soul of Rage, 2 Evil Hero Malicious Bane, and 1 each of the Nibiru Fusion, Zombie Stein for the lulz, B-17 Bomber, Destruction Personified, Mr. Banish All Yo Dudes, Mr. Banish All Yo Spells, Clifford the Big Red Nightmare, 1 very out-of-place guy and a bunch of literal demons, and the standard Nightmare package. The side deck I'll go over in a bit. So at its core, this is primarily an Unchained deck, formerly known as Hakai. If you're unfamiliar with them, the basic premise is pretty simple. They've got exactly 2 low-level monsters, both of which say, if I'm destroyed, summon an Unchained monster from your hand or deck. Likewise, all of their spell traps say, if this set card is destroyed, summon an Unchained monster from your deck. Your job as a player is to destroy one of these somehow, and then summon your main playmaker, Unchained Soul of Disaster, a very good pupper that can link summon using itself, and 1 monster your opponent controls. Now, you can only make Dark Links using this, and your 2 little Unchained guys say if you use their effects, you're locked into Fiend-type monsters, which is all just a roundabout way of saying, you're making this blue doggo. This pupper can link summon with your opponent's monsters, as a quick effect, but only during your opponent's turn, and only with a special summoned monster they control. Not optimal, but it's still a great bit of removal, and while you're still locked into dark monsters, you shouldn't be restricted to fiends, meaning you can make things like Trisbania for spell trap removal, Decode Talker for protection, and Nightmare Unicorn if you want to shuffle your opponent's cards back into their deck halfway through their combo. There's also a Link 3 Unchained, which can also link summon a dark monster using your opponent's monsters, but it's back to only working on your turn, so you don't always want to make it. Assuming you do make it though, we have a small toolbox of Dark Link 4s you can summon, including an Unchained boss monster that destroys something every time you destroy something. None of these are particularly key to your plays, so I won't be going over them in detail. The important part of Unchained is just to remove your opponent's monsters by link summoning with them. And that all starts with destroying a card you control so you can summon Disaster Doggo from the deck. You can accomplish that in a whole bunch of different ways. Red Boy can destroy a card on your side of the field to summon itself from the hand. Blue Boy has a quick effect to just pop a card you control once a turn. Both of these can be used on each other or on any of your set spell traps. Speaking of which, one of them, Escape of the Unchained, has the effect to destroy 1 Unchained card you control and 1 card your opponent controls, meaning its removal that can also destroy your dudes. You can also just, ram your monsters into your opponent's monsters, blow them up with Kaiju Slumber, or if you really need to, set a spell trap and then blow it up with your own Galaxy Cyclone. There's a lot of ways to get your plays started. Once you use this to get a link on the field, then you can break out your Evil Heroes, which is really just a 2.5 card engine. A Dusted Gold can be discarded in order to search Dark Calling, and Dark Calling fuses an Evil Hero using cards in your hand or graveyard. Most of the time, you're gonna be making Malicious Bane, a 3k attacker with a field nuke effect that just can't be destroyed. This is a fiend, so you can make it alongside your Unchained, and its fusion materials are 1 Evil Hero and 1 level 5 or higher monster. We have 12 such monsters, including your main playmaker, you know, that thing you're going to be searching first turn every time, and then linking into the graveyard, where Dark Calling can use it. So there's some synergy there. Alternatively, if you're feeling a little spicy, there's Dark Gaia. This thing gains the original attack of the 2 monsters used to fusion summon it, and it requires 1 fiend and 1 rock monster as material. As stated, everything in the deck is a fiend except for Gamecill and Nibiru, which happens to be a 3000 attack rock. Whether you've already used this and it's in your graveyard or it's stuck in your hand doing nothing, Dark Calling can allow you to turn it into a huge beatstick that has somewhere between 4,500 and 6,000 attack for some surprise OTK shenanigans. And that's pretty much all the key cards. Everything else in here is really just a tech card of some kind. In addition to the cheeky Dark Gaia shenanigans, Nibiru is a welcome addition to pretty much any Go second deck. It, along with the Kaijus, are there to get rid of any monster you can't destroy with Bane or link with the Unchained. They're all also level 5 or higher, so they can be used as material for Bane if need be. And Radiant is even a fiend, which gives it several synergies with the deck. This guy, Abominable Unchained Soul, is a 3k attacker that you can summon from your hand when a card you control is destroyed. Do I really need to say more? Alright, well, when he's summoned, you can discard a card to destroy a card on the field. This effect does not target, which makes it excellent removal for troublesome back row, as well as any monsters that your doggo can't target to link with. You could probably drop this down to 2 or even 1 if you really want to, since you can summon it out of the deck with all the same cards that you can use to summon Disaster. Usually, though, I find it's pretty great at 3. If you open with it, it just adds more attack and more removal to your already strong combos. Evil Mind is technically part of the Evil Hero package, but it doesn't need to be. It says if you control a fiend, you can do one of these things depending on how many monsters your opponent has in the graveyard. If they have 1 or more, draw a card. If they have 4 or more, add a hero from your deck to your hand. 10 or more, doesn't matter in this deck. The point is, worst case scenario, it's an upstart goblin. Best case, you can search Gold, who searches Fusion. You can also use Gold to search Evil Mind if you already have your Fusion card, and just get a free draw or a backup copy of Gold if you want. Finally, I should mention our Unchained spell searches any Unchained card from the deck, and our other trap summons an Unchained monster from the hand or graveyard, giving all of these cards double utility. All that leaves then is our side deck. Solemn Johnson is here to side in case you're going first. This deck has very few go first options, and there's none quite as debilitating as Solemn Judgment. If you want to be more aggressive and or trollsy going first, maybe assert your dominance, you could throw in Smoke Grenade of the Thief, an equip card that, when destroyed, lets you look at your opponent's hand and discard a card from it. You can search blue just as easily as you search your doggo or any other Unchained monster, equip this to it, and then use blue's effect in the standby phase to destroy it, allowing you to look at your opponent's opening hand and remove any troublesome playmakers you might find inside. It's not optimal, but it is funny. Another potential option here is Skill Prisoner. An old trap lets you protect your monsters from targeting. If your opponent is playing a deck that only has 1 or 2 outs to Malicious Bane, this can be a great way to subvert those plays by making it functionally invincible to anything but Kaijus. Speaking of which, Lava Golem, basically a double Kaiju. If your opponent is playing a build-a-board workshop and they've got negates for your Nibiru, this can be a fun thing to drop on them. It's a fiend, so it doesn't limit your plays, and though it does eat your normal summon, it's not impossible to get both Disaster Doggo and Malicious Bane on the field without normal summoning. Finally, we got one more Galaxy Cyclone just for spell trap heavy decks, and then 2 potential cards. I don't think I'd actually side these in, but they are interesting to think about. Originally, I had a much more robust hero engine in here instead of the Kaijus, and I think there may still be some potential here. Vion, when summoned, sends Shadow Mist to the graveyard. Shadow Mist then searches any hero monster, which can include Gold, obviously, if you want faster and more consistent access to Bane, but it can also include tech cards like Honesty Neos that'll help you OTK more, or even a whole Vion engine if you really want to go that way. I don't know, it's probably silly, but maybe one of you out there can make this ridiculous idea work. Regardless, there's my deck. I hope you enjoyed it. Like the video if you did, comment if there's any changes you would make, and subscribe if you want to see more strange deck profiles. I do one of these every other week. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, good luck, and have fun.